With no end in sight, the United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense. With no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. $2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that.
All right. Last night, President Trump delivered a masterful State of the Union. But Democrats absolutely embarrassed themselves. Their party is falling apart. They don't know what they stand for. It was disturbing. And if I was a Democrat, I would be embarrassed and become an independent voter or a Republican immediately. We couldn't get a clap out of the Democrat Party last night. Not for fixing the border, dropping illegal immigrant encounters by over 95%. They didn't clap for making America healthy again, making our children happy and healthy, helping them with their education. They didn't clap for supporting the police and making America safer. They didn't clap for trying to end the Israel-Gaza war or the Russia-Ukraine war. 2 senators clapped. And what did they clap for? Continuing the war in Ukraine. Elizabeth Warren actually clapped for more Ukrainians to die, more Russians to die, perpetual war in Europe, the wiping out of the Ukrainian people, stealing our tax money to give it to Ukraine so that it can be laundered and kicked out to officials in Ukraine and even sitting members of Congress. Yes, it was absolutely disgusting and disturbing to watch Democrats last night. Even Representative Al Green, of Texas, had to be removed by the sergeant in arms after disrupting President Trump's speech 4 different times. Other members in his party were like, Al, please just calm down. I know we hate Trump. I know he's bad. I know he's evil, but just sit down. This man refused. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on last night's State of the Union. I thought it started off slow, but ended masterfully. And Trump absolutely gave it to the Democrat Party as often as possible without being disrespectful. He just told the truth. Now, someone else that was telling the truth, I'm going to let Stephen A. Smith, a Democrat, a proud Democrat, well, maybe not as proud lately. He's going to tell you why Donald Trump is in the polls doing very, very well. Why the American people see Trump's tough leadership style as the style that they want. Why last night, Trump's speech got nearly an 80% approval rating with even 67%. 2/3 of Democrats saying it was good. We like his leadership. The country's back on track. And this is what we want. We want America healthy again. We want America happy again, successful again, thriving again. Yet no Democrats clapped. Let's see what Stephen A. Smith had to say over on The View.
He's only been in office for 6 weeks. Seems like 6 years, doesn't it? And he's been going around with his cronies touting his so-called landslide and blowout win. But he won the popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever. And he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate. We can sit up there and play around all we want to. In 2020, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win the electoral college vote. A matter of fact, the Republicans hadn't won the popular vote, if I remember correctly, since 2004. Yeah. But they did this year. So 20 years after they last won the popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the electoral college vote. The man won every swing state. And on top of it, 89% of the counties shifted gears. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate. There's a mandate.
Well, it's a different definition of a mandate, I guess.
But the problem is that if you're the Democratic Party and you lost 49.8% to 48.3%, and you're looking at that 1.5% dip, that's an excuse for you to say, what we did really wasn't that bad.
Well, some people didn't
we should continue to do that. No, don't continue to do that. Find a new strategy.
Trump was sent on a mandate. People wanted the border closed, the economy fixed, inflation under control, lower interest rates, end the war, and make America healthy again. Stephen A. Smith absolutely schools Joy Behar and the women on The View. How could you say that he didn't win by tremendous numbers? We hadn't won in over 20 years the popular vote. He wins that. He wins all the swing states. 89% of the counties shifted further red, further to the right. He's absolutely right. And last night, his State of the Union speech was absolutely loved. And you know, one thing that the American people absolutely loved, that the mainstream media vilified, that Democrats wouldn't even clap for, he had a young boy by the name of DJ Daniels, a boy who has gone through nearly a dozen brain surgeries to still be with us today. DJ Daniels wants to grow up and be a police officer. So President Trump brought him there. He was inspired by his story and his courage and wanted to share it with the American people. He even went as far as making him a member of Secret Service. Now, is this young boy going to protect the president? No. Is he going to be the hero that stops the next Butler, Pennsylvania? No. What President Trump was doing was honoring a young child. Let me go ahead and show you this child, and then I'll show you how the vile, disgusting mainstream media and Rachel Maddow reacted to President Trump's honoring of a child that beat cancer.
Because my mom bathes me and my brothers all together. And out of nowhere, I locked up, and then my dad was calling my name, and I started going to the slow thing, and he said, "Stop playing with me." And I then I started to act, I ain't gonna lie, I started to act slow, and then as soon as he said that, we was speeding all the way, running lights, going to the hospital, and then next thing you know, I was seizing on the table. They said, "No, we gonna have to go in his brain tonight." Ever since then, I had 13 brain surgeries, and that's how many times my personality has changed, and that's something that you don't hear from a terminally ill child. They had 5 months to live. I'm gonna keep on going until my gas tanks run out. And that's when God calls you home. You never know when God's gonna call you home. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad. I know he's pretty proud of me, and I'm pretty proud of him too. And I'd like to thank President Trump, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
Wow. How incredible is that? Inspiring, right? And then Rachel Maddow decides to mock this honoring, to mock this child, say that Trump was pretending like he had somehow cured this boy. All President Trump did was put a spotlight on him, his journey, and his bravery. In fact, it kind of reminded me of something Mr. Rogers might have done. An episode on a child dealing with difficulty and having the courage and bravery to fight through to the bitter end. And yet this child doesn't look bitter. He's grateful to be alive. He's grateful to God, and then said, "One day I will be called back home. And I love my parents, I love my dad, and I love President Trump." But listen to what Rachel Maddow, I cannot believe MSNBC has not canceled her. You canceled Joy Reid, you canceled others. Supposedly you're a completely racist news station, yet you keep vile people like Rachel Maddow on air. Let's go ahead and listen to what she had to say about this young DJ Daniel and President Trump.
Record, and this is disgusting. The president made a spectacle out of praising a young man who's thus far survived pediatric cancer, as if the president had something to do with that. This was in the midst of him praising Doge. The Doge cuts, among other things, have cut off funding for ongoing research into pediatric cancer.
I mean, doesn't even call him a boy, doesn't acknowledge his bravery, his courage, just calls him a pediatric patient that President Trump took advantage of. Again, maybe I'm seeing it wrong. Maybe I'm not a bitter white female that votes Democrat later in life. But let me know over in the comments, is this disgusting to you? Like, again, I thought that this was like a Mr. Rogers-like moment. The president of the United States is supposed to be a man or woman that people can look up to. And yet here he does something good to honor the bravery and courage of a young boy fighting for his very existence against brain cancer. And this bitter, pathetic person over on MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, can't even see it for the good that it is. Sad. All right, I got something good for you, and then a couple of really great stories. There is a war happening inside of us, all of us. It's probably not what you think. It has to do with our gut health. I'm talking about my sponsor, Kimchi One, something that I believe in. There's a battle in your gut with good bacteria and bad bacteria. And what we feed it determines whether we're happy and healthy. And bad bacteria has taken over the gut of many Americans. Now, Kimchi One from Bright Core Nutrition is the fermented superfood your body needs to arm the good guys with the right weapons to defeat the bad actors in your gut. And I can tell you from personal experience and with my own daughter that this helps to rebuild your gut, get your bowel movements going. It makes you happier and healthier. In fact, Kimchi One has 900 strains of positive beneficial bacteria for the human gut. It helps with digestion, rebuilding your immune system, making you happy, and detoxifying your body. It can even help with the obesity epidemic. A smaller waistline, it can curb your appetite and naturally boost your happiness through serotonin and your metabolism. Today, you can get an exclusive offer by clicking the link below. Just use Gardner for 25% off your entire order. Or for an even better deal, call my friends at Brightcore for up to 50% off your order and free shipping. Call 888-908-4425. Again, why save 25% when you could save up to 50% and get free shipping? Call them at 888-908-4425. I use this product every day. I love it. It really has been helpful for me and my 10-year-old daughter. All right, I want to tell you guys about the best line of the night from President Trump. Yeah, he took a whack at President Biden, his terrible policies, the Democrat Party, but I feel like he was respectful while at the same time putting a spotlight on the stupidity of Democrat leadership policy. Not the Democrat people. I don't have a problem with most Democrat voters, but Democrat leadership, you're in trouble. You're doing a terrible job. It's the reason you have the lowest approval rating. It's the reason more people are embarrassed to be associated with your party. You've gone too far to the left, too far to the wacky. Listen to the best line from President Trump. I thought it was a great line.
Friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
And we got one. We didn't need new policy. We needed a new president. Trump, 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 Trump.
Thank you.
That's exactly what the United States of America needed. We needed a new president, somebody with courage, somebody that keeps his word, someone who looks out for our allies, somebody who looks out for America. We're so concerned with the border of Ukraine and Russia that we ignored our own border. 21 million illegal immigrants flooded into our country, not because of policy, but because of a weak, pathetic president who thought he could rig future elections, wipe out the swing states, and replace the American people with humans from third world countries that don't share our values, that don't have anything in common with most Americans. This whole thing was a globalist agenda hell-bent on replacing the American people and propping up a failing Democrat Party with new voters. You see, most illegal immigrants that come into the country, they'll end up voting Democrat for about 15 years. Then one day the light bulb goes on. Wait a minute. The government's stealing my money in the form of inflation and taxation. I now need to vote for people that want lower taxes, that want to balance the budget, pay down the deficit, have common sense when it comes to our families, children, progress, the expansion of the American empire, the protection of the American empire. You see, what they didn't count on is that a vast majority of legal immigrants are highly against illegal immigrants. Why should they have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, get their medical records, go through schooling, swear allegiance to the flag of the United States, and then somebody else can come in and get more benefits than them, veterans, senior citizens, and American children? No, 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 no. We were against that. So we needed a new president, which is exactly why Stephen A. Smith was right. We needed somebody who was going to stand up for America. This is why 89% of all of the counties in America went more red, more Republican, more conservative, more common sense, more pro-family, and more pro-God. Can I get an amen in the comments? My gosh, it made me so proud to be an American last night. Type Y for yes if you felt proud to be an American last night. And if you didn't, you can type N for no. I want to hear from you guys. But I, for one, I felt pride to be an American. We do a lot of good around the world. Yes, we involve ourselves in military stuff that we shouldn't sometimes, but that's because members of Congress hide behind the U.S. military. Instead of doing diplomacy, they want boots on the ground. Not President Trump. President Trump is the president of peace. Now, Stephen A. Smith, along with me yesterday, mocked the Democrats for parroting. Yes, it's the best word I could come up with. Parroting the same lame talking points. Not only were they lame, but it was about things that Americans don't even believe in. Nobody believes that prices are higher because of Trump. We all know that inflation surged under Biden. And Trump stuck it to the Democrats last night saying, your egg prices are higher because of Biden, not because of Donald Trump. Under Biden, they killed 100 million egg-laying chickens, not under President Trump. But again, Stephen A. Smith, he mocks them for what they did, and I thought it was worth listening to.
Now you see why Stephen A. Smith was in the polls as a presidential candidate? See what I'm talking about? You see that idiocy right there? You talk about something, people being tone deaf. Why the hell would 22 Democratic senators be literally echoing the same thing and think that would resonate with the American people? All it shows is that the same fabric of our democracy is unchanging in the eyes of some of these officials, and as a result, the constituency they represent, which is why Donald Trump is in office. What, do I have to come up to Capitol Hill and give you lessons? Seriously, you don't get it? All you did, Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Chuck Schumer. Let's all get together. Let's put this in a prompter, and all together, albeit in separate rooms, we'll grab a microphone and say the same damn thing. And that's what's going to resonate with the American people. And then you wonder why you're no longer in power. You wonder why Trump is in the White House.
I don't wonder why. I totally get it. But then again, I'm a common sense American that loves his country, and I know you guys do too. I'm telling you, the Democrat Party is crumbling. It's unraveling. They care more about transing your children than protecting your children. They are sending billions of dollars to educate children in other countries. Meanwhile, huge swaths of American children can't read basic English, can't write basic English, and can barely do elementary age math. This has to change. This absolutely has to change. Now, I'll show you one last video. CNN lost their minds when their conservative Scott Jennings said why President Trump is so popular. And then he asked one question that left them all speechless. Let's watch it together.
Absolutely voted for this.
Okay,
Number
people
one.
do not want government waste, that's for sure. But they didn't vote for foresters to get fired.
Look,
they didn't vote for the parks to be closed.
Look, you guys,
veterans to be fired.
You guys keep trying to create this fantasy land where Donald Trump is not popular, where Republicans are mad.
Republicans are mad. They shut down the town halls.
Can you name a single Democrat in Congress who's more popular than Donald Trump right now?
Listen,
Answer, no.
Scott,
the reality is Republicans are so happy with this. They're not upset about it.
No, they
The
are.
American people are happy about what's going on right now because for the first time in a long time, a president said,
Scott,
I'm actually going to reduce the size of government.
He's right. He's right. There's nobody more popular in Washington, D.C. and the Democrat Party than Donald J. Trump. People are happy with what he is doing. They want their border protected. They want to find out about chronic illness for themselves and their children. Why are we allowing our own people to be poisoned? Why do we care more about foreign countries than our own people? Donald J. Trump is very popular. And guess what? They said Republicans aren't happy with what he's doing. He's not a perfect person, but I am very, very happy with Donald J. Trump. If you are, let me know down below. Type happy if you are happy. And if there's something you're concerned about, type that as well. I love reading your comments. All right, I want to respect your time. If you could, give this video a like. Hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 2 million amazing truth seekers. I love you guys. I've got some great interviews coming up later today. Stay amazing, and I will see you on the next